Greetings, and welcome to Indeed's Moments in Indigenous Education, which focuses on historical facts which have been omitted or forgotten. Please join us for today's topic.
Did you get your copy of Revealing America's Dark-Skinned Past? Volumes 1, $10, and 2, $8. Available now on Amazon.com.
The United States in 1899 issued its first and only paper currency displaying a Native American. The $5 note, sometimes called the Indian Chief Note or certificate, was part of a series of notes called the Educational Series. These notes had prominent artists to provide the designs and are considered the most beautifully constructed and artistically designed series of paper money produced by the United States. The man featured on the $5 silver certificate was a Lakota chief by the name of Running Antelope, who was a member of the Hunkpah tribe and a close associate to Sitting Bull. It turns out that the image on the note had a very large problem. The image of Running Antelope on the currency shows him in a full headdress. The problem with this image is that the headdress on Running Antelope was not a headdress from his tribe, but from the rival Pawnee tribe. And to make matters worse, it was the war bonnet of the Pawnee. Also, you can see from Running Antelope's portrait that was used for the currency, his headdress was not as elaborate. One story is that the headdress of Running Antelope was too tall for the engraving. Another story is that Running Antelope was asked to wear the Pawnee headdress, but he refused. And yet another where it is stated that when Running Antelope's image was presented for final approval for the money, the director of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing felt something was wrong because all the images of Indian chiefs he had ever seen were of men wearing a headdress. An artist was eventually commissioned to change the original Hunkpah headdress to the Pawnee headdress on the image. Another tidbit of information to consider is why was Running Antelope's image chosen to be displayed on United States currency? He wasn't even a chief. He was, however, one of his tribe's 4 shirt wearers. These men were held in exceptionally high esteem, where they were expected to help enforce and protect their tribe's most vulnerable members. They also were the intermediary between the tribe council and headmen who carried out tribal policy and decisions. Sitting Bull's uncle was a shirt wearer, and Sitting Bull became a war chief. Running Antelope was considered a brave warrior, an accomplished diplomat, a stirring orator, and a man of high principle and independent thought. He gradually, however, came to believe that the whites could not be expelled, and his people's survival lay in seeking the best accommodations possible with the invading white man. Sitting Bull, who once held Running Antelope in high esteem because of his effectiveness in intertribal conflicts, eventually changed his attitude toward him. He came to regard Running Antelope as a fool. Running Antelope became one of the U.S. agency Indians who did not fight against the U.S. Army in the Great Sioux War, nor go into exile in Canada with Sitting Bull. He even served as a district farmer. These were the friendly Indians who were more inclined to make the transition from buffalo hunter to small farmer because of the subsidies promised. By the way, a district farmer like Running Antelope earned $120 a month, a lot of money in the late 1800s. And why, after Sitting Bull's murder and the massacre at Wounded Knee, would the United States want to feature a Native American on their money? The sentiment of the United States citizens at the time is summed up very well, quoting this newspaper editor, who later authored The Wizard of Oz.
The pioneer has before declared that our only safety depends upon the total extermination of the Indians. Having wronged them for centuries, we had better, in order to protect our civilization, follow it up with one more wrong and wipe these untamed and untamable creatures from the face of the earth. In this lies safety for our settlers and soldiers who are under incompetent commands. Otherwise, we may expect future years to be as full of trouble with the Redskins as those have been in the past.
Could it possibly be that the image was to represent a people that will soon be exterminated from United States soil, and running antelope represented the means of extermination? I guess we will never know that answer.
You have just finished watching Indeed's Moments in Indigenous History. Please join us next time. Peace.
Did you get your copy of Revealing America's Dark-Skinned Past? Volumes 1, $10, and 2, $8. Available now on Amazon.com.